What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you a really cool technique on how to do your entire face makeup routine in 10 minutes or less. And I'm not just talking about BB cream and a little bit of concealer here and there. I'm talking about the whole shebang, from foundation to moisturizer to concealer, setting powder, bronzer, blush, highlighter, setting spray, all of it. We're doing it all in 10 minutes or less. And I feel like a lot of tutorials, including mine, just don't take into consideration that wearing 15 layers of makeup every day just isn't appropriate for everyday life, whether it be because you're a busy mom or if you work in an office setting or a school. Those looks are really fun to watch and they're pretty to see come together, but it's just not wearable and appropriate for everyday life. So I hear you. I got you. I'm gonna show you that you don't need to spend 2 hours on your makeup to look and feel glam. It's very breathable, it's very skin-like, it's very natural, and it's not harsh. Like, this is something that looks good in person. Like, I know you see all these Instagram pictures and their makeup looks really good in pictures, but this is what looks good in real life. So before we get started, if you're new here, my name is Ashley. Hello, welcome. I upload 2 times a week and we talk about everything from makeup to skincare to hair care, literally all the beauty things in one place. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel to stick around and join my awesome community, and then turn the notification bell on to make sure that you see all my videos. And while we're at it, just go ahead and give me a like. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. I know you haven't watched it yet, but you're gonna enjoy it. I've kind of talked about the importance of interacting with every video that you watch. It's so important because it takes less than a second to like this video, and it tells YouTube that I deserve to grow and that my videos deserve to be circulated. So it really helps me out. And without further ado, I'm gonna show you how to get what I've got going on my face right now in 10 minutes or less. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm really gonna try to channel my inner Wayne Goss and just get straight into the video and avoid all the fluffy talk. And when it comes to the technique itself, I'm gonna try to keep it raw and unedited, which is really hard for me because I get very blubbery, but I want you guys to see from start to finish how long it takes to do everything, from blending to application, the whole shebang. I don't want there to be any kind of confusion as to what I'm doing secretly behind the scenes, because what you see is what you get. I do want to go ahead and go over what I've done on my skin so far, but I'm not including this in the timed technique portion of the video just because this is very personalized. But I always go in with some kind of toner and wipe my face down with it just to kind of cleanse my skin off, like cleanse off the residue and stuff, because I'm not a morning cleanser. So I went in with my Son & Park Beauty Water. This is a Korean beauty product and I love this stuff. It cleanses, it lightly exfoliates, it hydrates, and it just really softens your skin and preps it for makeup. So I love that. But I am going to apply my sunscreen on camera because this is something that you should be doing every single day of your life, whether it's sunny, raining, cloudy. Every single morning you have to apply SPF 30 or more. So I've really been enjoying this Sun By Me True Cica Mineral 100 Calming Sunscreen with tea tree. But I really like this stuff, especially for this technique, because it doesn't take a long time to absorb. It's very fast to apply. It doesn't leave a white cast. It doesn't make your skin greasy. It's not like most sunscreens that we try over here. This is a Korean beauty product, by the way. But it's also really good for the summertime because if you sweat or if you get hot, it's not going to run into your eyes and burn. So I really like this stuff. Now I will say, if you're someone that has really dry skin, I'd probably recommend either applying a moisturizer underneath it or mixing this in with a moisturizer. I've done both ways and it wears really nicely under makeup. It's good for sensitive skin. It's not gonna be clogging your pores or anything. Always apply it down your neck. But I have oily skin, so I can get away without applying a moisturizer with it. Now I'm gonna go into primer. This is optional, but I'm wanting this to stay on all day long, especially because it's about to be summertime and I don't want to put my makeup on for nothing. But if you're someone that can get away without using a primer and just let your moisturizer prime for you, then by all means, save your time, do it. This is the Ordinary's High Adherence Silicone Primer, but just use whatever you want. Again, it's not about the products. So basically the technique is applying cream cheek products and your concealer underneath your foundation. What this is gonna do is basically save you all those steps, and it's condensing it into one step. So I'm gonna start off with concealer and then go into a cream or stick bronzer and then blush, and we'll reconvene in just a second. So I'm gonna first go into concealer. So I'm just gonna use one that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. I actually like to go pretty pasty with this. Like, I don't want something that's my skin tone just because we're gonna be putting a foundation on top of it. It's not gonna show up. So I like to apply a little more. I like to be a little bit more heavy-handed with these products because it's gonna be basically getting covered up. But yeah, I just apply it to the center of my face. I do the little weed plant. I do my nose, my chin. I'm gonna go in with a damp Real Technique sponge and I dampen this with as hot of water as I could possibly stand. And you don't even have to be super anal when it comes to blending this out. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's good under your eyes and you get the coverage that you want, that's really all that matters. But when it comes to like this area right through here, you don't even have to be perfect with it. But yeah, it looks pretty light right now, but I promise once you have everything else on, it's gonna look a lot more normal, and you're still gonna get a little bit more definition. If you use something that's the same color as your skin tone, you're not gonna get that definition. And I like to be a little bit brighter under the eyes and in the center of the face, so this is important for me. And also where you're blending it down to around your cheek area, you're gonna be just using less foundation. So this technique is all about less product, thinner layers, and less sandwiching, as I like to call it. But I do like to use hot water with dampening my sponge, just a little FYI while I'm blending this out, because I find that hot water really helps melt the product into the skin, makes it very skin-like, and it blends it out faster than a cold sponge. So now I'm gonna go into a cream bronzer. So I've been using this Wet n Wild Mega Glow contour stick in the shade Oaks on You, and I'm gonna apply it in the areas where I apply bronzer. And I'm gonna blend this out with my favorite cream bronzer brush. This is the Real Technique sculpting brush, and I want this to be pretty intense. So again, it doesn't have to be blended out perfectly. It's really just about placement, but I want to make sure that it shows up once I have my foundation on, so I do like to go a little bit more heavy with it. And when you first start doing this technique where it's new, it might take you a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but I promise you, this is so fast. And it may take me a little bit longer than 10 minutes in today's video just because I'm talking, and I don't know, whenever it comes to filming, I get blubbery. So yeah, just like that. Again, like not perfectly blended or anything. And then for blush, you can use any kind of cream blush. You could do a liquid blush, whatever's easier for you. I think the stick products, when it comes to cream products, especially for this technique, are a lot easier. So I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow blush stick in the shade Peach Bums. It's basically like a NARS Orgasm kind of shade, but this does have a little bit of shimmer to it. So if you want to skip out on liquid highlighter later, you totally can. I'm going to take that on a stippling brush. I feel like stippling brushes are some of the best ways to apply cream products. But this is the Morphe MB36. All the brushes I'm using will be linked below. And again, doesn't have to be perfect, but I do like to really pack on the blush and get it pretty clownish. So just like that. So now it comes to, now it comes time for the foundation. So you can use literally any kind of foundation that you want. I will say when it comes to liquid or stick foundations, I would apply the product on the back of your hand and work from your hand instead of applying it directly to your skin, just because you don't really want to disrupt the placement of these cheek products. You want to try to keep it as in place as possible. So I'm going to use the Moonshot Cushion Foundation. This is a cream product. You can use the cushion that comes with it. I'm just going to use my own tool, but I've really been enjoying this little baby right here. This is the Real Techniques foundation blender. So I'm just going to press it into the cushion. Again, use any foundation you want. And I start down here and I work my way up. And when it comes to blending on top of the cheek products, I focus more on stippling. I'm not dragging a whole lot. I'm not disrupting the placement a lot. I mean, I'm doing a little bit because you have to a little bit, but I'm really kind of doing like a pat and drag motion. So you can layer this as much as you want, but I find that even though these aren't necessarily coverage products, you use less product because it actually does cover a little bit. But especially like under the eyes, I'm not going to be applying more foundation there. I'm going to keep this just for concealer. So you're applying less product under the eyes, so you're going to be less prone to creasing and settling and all that stuff. Just make sure when it comes to around your hairline, you get it really well because the bronzer can kind of stick in your hair. So just make sure that it just blends seamlessly into your hairline. But as you can see, I'm not bringing my brush all the way up to under my eyes, like where my lash line is. I'm stopping it right there. And since we use a brighter concealer, there's still some of that brightness left. So I'm going to build up the coverage that I want. I really like this cushion foundation. I find like cushion foundations are really good for this technique, especially because the whole purpose is to just apply less layers, number one, but also you want your skin to look natural and you want the foundation and all the makeup to look skin-like. So I find that just the overall nature of cushion foundations and just the consistency and the texture allows you to look really natural. So I'm going to blend it down my neck. So now I'm going to go in, I'm going to go back over all of this with the brushes that I just used for each of those products. So I'm gonna first go into my bronzer brush with no extra product. You can apply extra product if you want, but you don't have to. It just kind of depends on how much time you have. I'm just gonna go back over and just intensify it with whatever's left. And where these are stick products, it's really easy. If you do want to get some more product, you can just work straight from the stick. But it's gonna not look as seamless if you apply some more product, but you totally can. I'm just gonna blend it out like that. Go down my nose. Because I want to see the definition, like I want to see the color. I just don't want it to be heavy looking. And then go back over my blush area with my blush brush. I want my blush to show up. Whenever I don't have a lot of blush on, or if it's very faded, it just kind of reminds me of like makeup being faded off. So just like that. And you've probably noticed by this point that I didn't apply a liquid highlighter yet, so this is the only product that I apply on top of everything. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Hello Halo liquid highlighter in the shade Gilded Glow. This isn't sponsored by Wet n Wild, I promise. I just like a lot of their products. So I'm just gonna really fast put it on. And I like the fact that this is a wand, especially if you want speed, because you can just slap it on really fast. But I'm just gonna use the pointed side of my sponge and blend that out. You can use your blush brush, you can use another stippling brush, whatever you want. I'm just gonna kind of, whatever's left over on my sponge, without directly applying it, just kind of put it to the center wherever I put the concealer. And just to kind of meld the highlighter and the blush together, this is a little bit extra, but just to make sure it looks good, I'm just gonna meld the two together. I'm not gonna go on top of the highlighter, I'm going right where the blush and the highlighter meet. And then I'm gonna go over everything with my sponge. I'm gonna go over it with the flat side and just kind of press everything in to make it look very skin-like. So it fills in the pores and there's no lines. Which there's not really gonna be a whole lot of lines just because of what we've done. We've applied everything underneath the foundation, but yeah, so there's where we're at so far. Now's the time for powder, so you can skip out on powder if you have dry skin, or if you're someone that doesn't have to powder, or if you have oily skin, you can set the T-zone. I definitely recommend setting under your eyes and at least the T-zone just to make sure it stays on well. You can use literally any kind of powder. If you want speed, pressed powders are usually the fastest. But I'm gonna go back over my under eye area real quick with my sponge just to press out any kind of creases. Just like that. And I'm gonna basically do spot powdering. So for spot powdering, I find that the easiest way to do this without disrupting all this stuff, because I really want to keep the healthy dewiness to it, I go in with a very, very small tapered brush. So this is the Morphe Y14. You can use anything, and it's easy to be precise with it. So the first thing I do is go under my eyes and just kind of stipple. Don't drag your powder a lot because you're gonna disrupt everything. I go down the bridge of my nose. I go down the sides of my nose because, especially if I'm out and about, I'm wearing sunglasses, so I want to try to avoid as much transfer there as possible. I go right here in the crevices of my nose, and then I go right around my mouth, so basically my T-zone, and anywhere that I'm prone to creasing. And then I'm actually gonna go right under the bronzer area right here because I want to make sure that I have a little bit of definition. So I always apply powder right here. I kind of leave this little landing strip right there clean. I just go directly underneath and around the blush and bronzer. And also I just find, like, if everything is matte, like if you have glowy cheeks and then everything else is around it is matte, it makes the glowiness pop. So I'm gonna go in between the bronzer up here, my forehead, keeping that bright as well. And then it's time for setting spray. So yeah, I'm gonna use the Body Shop's Mint Mattifying Setting Spray. Hopefully you can see how skin-like it looks. Like, you can't see line of demarcation, you can't see powderiness, you can't see cakiness. My pores are minimized, and like my skin just looks very flawless and airbrush. Like, it just looks very velvety smooth. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you've made it this far, comment below #partypeople to let me know that you are part of my Party People squad and that you are helping me out the mostest by watching the entire video. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.